What's up, Lemon Heads? Welcome back to another episode of From the Yellow Chair. I'm Emily, and I'm flying solo this week, but wanted to share with you guys a pretty important message that Crystal and I have been developing, and we've actually kind of given this talk or this spiel a little bit to some local community events, and it was very well received, and a lot of this information was some things that I have really personally taken to heart, and so just wanted to jump on here to be able to share this with all the Lemon Heads, with all the listeners out here. So I'm going to be kind of diving into company culture and trust and how you build trust inside of your own company. And so I've got a lot of fun examples here. If we get crazy, we might link some of them over on social media. But it's something that's really helped Crystal and I a lot, and specifically me with some, because Crystal has different aspects of what she's really good at in company culture, and I have some different things that are important to me and come a lot more naturally and stuff. And so hopefully from this presentation, you'll be able to find some key takeaways that maybe can help you and enhance your company culture. So without further ado, let's sip some lemonade. All right, so to have a good frame of reference, I feel like you might need to understand Lemon Seed and our company a little bit more for a lot of these things to have some relevance and give some semblance to what we're talking about, because some things might be, more easily doable at this one size company, and that may or may not be scalable, but like if you're at a different place, then you might could do some other things and stuff. So for reference, a lot of the things we're talking about are things that we actually do and implement here at Lemon Seed. So at the time of this recording, we have 27 team members. We were established in 2023, so right at 3 years old. Like I said, we have 27 team members. Half of those team work in office and half of them are remote. They are all in the state of Texas. So most of them are within driving distance if we do need them to be able to come into office, but we usually don't ask that for too many times. Usually about twice a year is when we bring our entire team in office. That's relatively expensive to do, but it is something that we have found is crucial to helping to keep that team culture, to keep that energy, to keep that synergy between the team members. So not just for Crystal and I, but for the team members that are interacting with each other and stuff. So that's something that's pretty important and that we give a lot of precedence and importance to and budget for. Like we're budgeting for lodging and for mileage and things like that to make some of those things happen. So 27 team members, and then we work with about 60 different contractors across the country in the home service world industry. So a lot of HVAC, a lot of plumbers and electricians. So we are living, eating, and breathing in an industry that may not be like super fun, if you will. It's not super sexy. Like no one is like, yes, I graduated from design school or marketing school to go market backflow preventers or condensers. Okay. Like nobody is signing up for that. Okay. And if you got down to like, if I just wrote out everything we do and for the home service industry, like on paper, frankly, it could be a turnoff to some people, but that's just another reason why we have to be more intentional and to build an exact culture of how we want something that is scalable, something that makes people excited to come to work, and that can be reiterated to our clients, to where our clients can find benefits and value from our services and from working with our team members and things like that, because they are good businesses. They are making an impact in their community, and they need just a little help from marketers. And so that's what we're trying to do here to build an awesome culture so they can help that for our clients. Of our 27 team members, we have 26 females and one guy. So bless his heart, that one guy, he puts up with a lot. As you can imagine, 99% all female team has its own challenges, as it could. So, again, just kind of getting to know your team and what we've experienced and what we've developed. Hopefully you can take away some key things to this. So one of the key factors in building up a company culture, though, is trust. And what I'm about to dive into isn't a completely original thought of mine, okay? I went to the Global Leadership Summit back in August, and if you ever have the opportunity, that is a fantastic leadership summit, all things leadership conference with tons of different speakers from lots of different backgrounds, lots of different professions, things like that. And so this was kind of the opening talk, and how there's a true pandemic happening right now. And I'm not talking about COVID, okay? But 63% of Americans don't trust their leader. Like, that is staggering. Like, more than half of the people coming to your office don't trust their leader. So like, how could you move these people forward to reach your company's vision or mission? How can you get these people to perform at their peak level if they're not trusting you, if they're not trusting where you're going? And so I'm going to kind of dive into this talk about trust a little bit before we get into the actuals of some fun things that happen in culture. And this talk was given by Greg Rochelle. He has a leadership podcast, very creatively named the Craig Groeschel Leadership Podcast. But tons of good content. And so the key elements to trust is transparency, consistency, and empathy. And if we're being realistic, and like if you were evaluating yourself as a leader, you're probably not fantastic at all three of those aspects, transparency, consistency, or empathy. And so hopefully as I kind of dive in through some of these, you could pick out one that you might be a little weaker in and how you can maybe help improving that. Because ultimately, when you have trust as the leader, you will have an amazing culture. When your team knows where they're going, who they're following, what our mission and vision is, you will build that amazing culture. And you have a culture, but are you the one that is defining it? If you aren't being intentional about defining it, someone else is, okay? Whether that's for positive or negative. And a lot of times it'll be for the negative. So is your culture one of gossipy or blame shifting or procrastination? Again, if you're not being intentional to counteract some of those things, it'll define itself naturally because that's just the human nature of things. So you have a culture, but you have to be very intentional to define it. So to dive into that first aspect, we're going to kind of talk about transparency. So how many of you guys have ever said, I just need more of me? Like if I could just have a whole team of me's, like we could do some amazing things. You may have said that. You may have just said like, maybe I just need like one more of me to help do some of these things. I've been guilty of saying that and been guilty of like, I can just do it quicker myself. Or by the time I explain this to somebody, I could just do this. I've been guilty of that. I know that's a common trend, but when you're not transparent, how could people be more like you? They have to know what you know. They have to think like you think. They have to see what you see. And they don't get any exposure to that. They don't get any access to that without you being transparent. So when you are transparent, your teams can get closer. You can solve problems faster and your trust grows stronger. Okay. When they know what you know, and when they see what you see, they can see the problem and they know how to find a solution for it faster. When they know what we're all going through, what our struggles are, where our weaknesses are, our teams can get closer because they can identify, hey, that's where I can help out. That's where I can really step up. But if you don't have this transparency, if you are fantastic, you don't have any weaknesses, I'm the strong one, I'm the boss, it's my way or the highway, I'm just doing this, you just do what I say because I said it, like, that's not a great way to build trust, okay? That's not a great way to build up a company culture. So when you are transparent, your teams can get closer, that trust goes stronger, you can solve some of those problems a lot faster. And you build transparency by having interaction with your team, by sharing some things that might be difficult to have. So having like tough conversations, maybe even like sharing the budgets and the goals. Like, hey, here's where we're on track to do next year. Here's what we want to do. We're going to hit that, or like, we're not. Like being open about that, or like, we're not hitting budget. We've got to pivot some things. We've got to change some things. How could they feel the stress and the burden, or even like the care and desire to change something about it if they don't know that, if they can't share that with you? A lot of that could be like too much. Like, I can't share all that with my team. Like, I can't share my problems that I'm having. I can't share the financial things that we're having. I can't share all the staffing problems that we have. And maybe you can't share all those specifics, but can you share enough to where they can help see what you're seeing, so that they can help to help you solve those problems, so that they can help rally the team in a good way and to help identify some of these things that need to be corrected. A big thing in that is your management interaction. How are you interacting with your team? Do you have one-on-one meetings? Do you have team huddles? Do you ever have a team retreat? Sometimes just by being intentional to make some of those special connections, that's literally just for the sake of communication and being open, sometimes that can mean the world to an employee. Okay, so it's beyond just a task list or a project list. It's getting to know you as the manager and really feeling like they're getting to know you as a person beyond just the boss. Okay, so transparency might be a hard one for you. Maybe you can take away a few things from that. I also know consistency can be a big thing for people that they really struggle with. If you think about it, like, is your team ever afraid of what version of you they're going to get? Like, when I heard him ask that question, I was kind of like, ugh, like that's kind of a gut punch. So like, you can kind of set the tone and set the mood for your company. So if you walk in with like everything sucks, this client is terrible, and I can't get these people off my back, and like, you don't know what I'm going through at home, and like you just exude that frustration and that just tension, guess what? Your team is going to feel that too, and they're going to get that. Like, do you have a consistency of being that, or do you have a consistency of being happy-go-lucky? Everything's fine and dandy, and let's just chit-chat and do all the fun things, and like, oh my gosh, that's so fun. Can you be some of both? Like, do you have a consistent threshold? Do your team members know what to expect when they do have to interact with you, when they do have to tell you about a problem or mistake that they just had? Like, I just messed up. Like, do they know, is my manager going to fly off the handle, or is my manager going to approach this with grace, or is it a toss-up? Like, I don't know if they're having a good day or bad day. This could go either way. When you can have that consistency, when your team can know that, like, hey, even when I mess up, even when it's a problem, I've made this mistake before, my manager can talk to me with grace, but then it can also have those same tough conversations with me, like kind of how we talked about in that transparency aspect. When you can have the consistency of that, you can build a lot of trust that way. I know sometimes I can have what's been called seagull management, like seagull, like the bird, like curr, curr. They're laughing here in the podcast room, but that was my best interpretation of a seagull. But what that means is seagulls on the beach, they will dive in, try to catch the food, create a lot of chaos and the clutter, and then fly back off. They come in, they poo-poo on everything, and then they fly off. They're out, okay? I can have a real bad tendency to do that. Like, I start diving into a project and be like, what the crap is happening here? Why did we do this? We should have done this way. Oh my gosh, let me just get in the middle of this. I'm going to reach out to these people, blah, blah, blah. But then like I lose track to another focus, and like I've flown back out. Okay. Like I've come in, I've wreaked havoc. I've kind of created chaos amongst the team on this one thing, but then it's like, oh, I've lost my distraction. Like I can't focus on that anymore. I'm off to the next thing. So I've flown in and flown out. Like seagull leadership can be one of the most inconsistent things. Okay. Like, and again, another version of inconsistency, like what kind of team member, what kind of manager am I going to get today? Are they the seagull? Are they the slow and steady? Are they the consistent of what I can expect? But inconsistency leads to lack of accountability and lack of progress. Our team members, they want to perform well. They want to do a good job at their job. They want to have their clients like them, and the companies that they're working with be successful, and the homeowners that they're working with be successful. They want to have that accountability and to be able to do a good job. However, where a lot of people fail when they aren't meeting your expectations, it's because they probably don't know what your expectations are. Or do they change from day to day? Like, I need you to do this today. I need you to do that tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to have you do tomorrow, but it's probably going to be something different. That inconsistency and that lack of accountability ultimately just delays progress. Okay. You're kind of just always spinning your wheels, stuck in the kind of the same spot. And so I think you have to be, as a good leader and to really develop this culture, you have to be very consistent and clear in your expectations. If they aren't meeting your expectations, it's because your expectations aren't clear. And so sometimes that involves having a tough conversation. Sometimes you have to say like, hey, this is something that you're really not doing well. I really need you to get to here for this to be successful. I need you to get to here in X time frame, in this many days, in this many weeks. Here's the steps, the incremental steps in place to get you to that final thing, but here's where I got you to have to be. And for some of you, that can be like so scary, like, but it's going to hurt their feelings. But like, they're a really good person. And like, they're so sweet and they're so nice. And like, oh, But like, you have to have those conversations. And so like, while it may suck in the moment, and sometimes it can take them aback, like, I thought I was doing a fantastic job. Like, what do you mean I'm not doing great? It's because you haven't been clear in those expectations. You haven't been transparent in what you're needing, what your goals are for them. And so when you can be consistent, you can build that trust. And then the last part is empathy. This is one that I can struggle with a lot as well. And if Crystal was on here, she would tell you that she struggles with this one as well. We struggle with this for very different reasons. Crystal can tend to be overly empathetic, and I can tend to be underly empathetic. Underly, is that a word? Not empathetic? That's probably... I struggle with that aspect way more than Crystal does. And so, but one of the key aspects in empathy is you have to really get to know your team, okay? And like, I'm not just talking about knowing their names, but like, do you know their spouse's name? Do you know their kids' names? Do you know their dog's name if they don't have kids? Okay. So you have to kind of adjust who you're talking to at the moment. Like, I have a team member and she doesn't have kids. She's, not married. She's single and stuff, but her dog is her baby. Okay. And I've had to learn and realize that like when I jump on my one-on-one meeting with her, I have to kind of like, she wants to kind of talk and just chit chat a little bit, where I can be a little bit like, hey, we got things to do. Let's get down to business. I need this. You need this. Okay, let's get it done. Go fight, win. But I've realized like my team doesn't always need that. Like, they want me to be like, hey, how are you? Are you having a good day? And so I really came to realize this when she had to take her dog to the vet. And like I said, this dog is her baby, okay? I have a picture here of her. She's paddle boating with her dog on the paddleboard, and the dog is wearing a special dog life jacket. And like, I'm not the one that's buying a life jacket for my dog, okay? I'm just not. But that's something that's important to her. And so when she had to take this dog to the vet, like, it was something that was super serious to her. I mean, it's almost traumatic. She had to take off work. And so part of me could be like, you're having to take off work to take care of your dog? Like, I could be super unempathetic to that. But I know what's important to her, and I know what's meaningful to her. And so when that can become meaningful to me as well, that shows that she's meaningful and important to me. And so after, she had to take off work to go to the vet, and I was like, you know what? It's an afternoon. It's not the end of the world. Yes, she can take off. That's what's important to her. The rest of this stuff can wait. Nothing is that urgent for half of an afternoon, that we can't handle or tackle tomorrow, or another team member can't step in. But the next time I had my one-on-one meeting with her, I said, hey, how's Atlas doing? One, that a little caught her off guard, because like, one, I knew the name of her dog. I've never flat out asked her, like, written it down, like, hey, I'm going to fill out this company profile, this form from you. What is your dog's name so I can write this down to remember? No, it's just taking note. And when she's talked to me, when she's shared with me, oh yeah, Atlas and I went to the park. That's ding, ding, ding for me. I need to remember these things. I need to remember these things that are important to her. So I remembered that her dog had a vet appointment and that she was really stressed about it. But I remembered her dog's name. Okay. And that meant a lot to her. It's super simple, super easy, but I have to be intentional to, one, remember those things and take note of things that are important to her, but then to adjust the way that I'm talking to her. And I have other team members that they're a lot more like me, like, hey, let's get right down to business. Okay. Let's talk it out, hash it out. Bye. Let's go. But she's not that way. So kind of adjusting who you're talking to can really kind of show your empathy and making what's important to them important to you. We talked about company retreats here earlier, and sometimes you have to do events that appeal to your team. Okay. So I mentioned we have a team of 27 women and one dude. So like, what's appealing to our team is probably not like, renting out a hunting lease and going duck hunting for the weekend or something like that, and like, our team is really young. So they're not looking to do like a dominoes competition, or a game of bridge tournament. Okay. And so at our last company retreat, we went to a rage room. Okay. Where you go to these rooms and you smash plates and tires and break things, and you have a sledgehammer and just smash this TV and things like that. And they had this like paint room with like this glow in the dark paint. So like, our team freaking loved that. They loved jumping into this paint room and just flinging paint on each other and making a mess. And the place was playing 90s rap music, and they were all getting into, they're like, yes, this is my childhood. Like, that is really what they were feeling. The Smash Room, they brought in a car for us, and some of these friends, like, we didn't know they had so much built up aggression. It's almost entertaining for the rest of the team to watch this, this young girl that never spoke, and then all of a sudden she's smashing through the windshield of this car. But again, we knew our team. We knew kind of what is appealing to them, what makes them happy, what makes them jive, what brings out their personality. And so we have to curate events and curate even like food, okay? Like, some team members love this super fancy experience. Some people are like, I love sitting around a campfire with a hot dog, okay? Thinking about the little details and the swag or the gifts that you give out. Different things mean different things to different people. So again, once you get to really know your team, you can kind of curate some of those events, to them. You also got to celebrate your team, okay? What's important to them? Is it a dog's birthday? Is it an anniversary? Is it a sobriety anniversary? Is it they just got this project completed on time? Some of the things that weigh the biggest on them, or maybe where they feel the most lack of confidence in, sometimes that's where they need the most celebration. And so when you can identify that, and then people also receive celebration and receive love in different ways. Some people might like that one-on-one, hey, I really appreciate what you did there. I noticed it. You did a fantastic job. Some people more desire or get more appreciation from when you're like publicly praised. So maybe in front of the whole team, I'm going to say, hey, Rachel did a fantastic job on this, this, and this. That might mean more to her when I can praise her in front of the whole team than if I had just praised her one-on-one. So celebrating your team and kind of figuring out what makes them feel celebrated. And maybe it's not even like a shout out or even like a verbal praise. Maybe it's like an actual gift. Like you got them a $15 Starbucks gift card. Or if they're not into Starbucks, maybe it's like Best Buy or the nail salon or, Academy if you have a bunch of dudes or something like that. Celebrate what's important to them. And then another old-fashioned thing, if you will, but that can go a long way, is kind of those handwritten thank you notes. You can do that to your clients, to your vendor partners, to your actual teammates. All of those things go into building, the company culture. We have a whole line item in our budget for gifts for birthdays and for anniversaries. So yeah, we're going to spend X number of dollars on this. So every time a team member has a birthday or an anniversary, a big work anniversary, we're going to either send them like a thing of flowers or an Amazon gift card or a nail salon gift card, something like that. But you know what that does? One, it makes them feel valued and appreciated and know that like we're thinking about them. Like, hey, we value your year here at Lemon Seed that you've been here, and we hope for many more. Hey, we're so happy that you had a birthday. Oh, and side note, we give birthdays off. Birthdays are a paid holiday for every single team member. That's kind of a unique one that like every time we hire someone and we tell them like, that is so cool. I've never had that happen. It's super easy to do. It's a unique and special event that not everyone else gets off on that day. So like they feel completely unique, but it's just an extra added perk and like, hey, we're celebrating you. Okay. But anyways, back to this. So I'm thinking of a specific friend. We sent her a thing of flowers for her work anniversary. And the first thing she did was post about on social media. She took a picture of the flowers and she just said, I'm so blessed to be working at this company. And what that ultimately does is, one, she feels appreciated from us, but then two, she's also becoming our biggest advocate and our biggest recruiter, if you will, for when we need to hire new team members. So when we can be intentional in building that culture with the team members that we have, they will in fact then become our main attraction, our magnet, to where we don't have a problem in having applicants apply to Lemon Seed because we've had that team that have become our own attractors, if you will. They are our biggest advocates for the good or for the bad. Like, no girl, don't apply for that job. I can't wait till I can get out of it. Or, oh my gosh, I love where I work. You would love it too. Here's what all we're able to do. And here's what they do for us as employees. And, so those small little gestures, that intentionality can be the world of difference for your current team, but also for your future team. And so I have this phrase that actually I learned it from my pastor, but it's been very monumental to me in my leadership, and I think it can resonate with a lot of you. You deserve what you tolerate. You get what you reiterate, and you keep what you celebrate. So I'm going to say that again. You deserve what you tolerate. You get what you reiterate, and you keep what you celebrate. So I kind of want to ask you, like, what are you tolerating? Are you tolerating that employee showing up late to everything? Are you tolerating projects and deadlines going past due? Are you tolerating that gossipy, negative attitude? Are you tolerating dishes being left in the sink in the break room? Whatever you tolerate, you deserve it. Like, you're going to always get that, And if you aren't setting those clear expectations, if you aren't having those hard conversations and being transparent, yeah, you're going to get that. You deserve it, because you won't have those hard conversations. You won't be clear and concise. You won't be consistent, okay? So you deserve what you tolerate. But what are you reiterating, okay? So, like, one thing that Lemon Seed is reiterating right now is, hey, we have got to be tracking time to every single project, every single task that we're doing. Every time you have a phone call with a client, you have to track time. Every time you're working with a vendor for this client, you have to track time to it and stuff. We have several reasons on our end why we need that, because we need to know, like, are we priced accordingly? Is this profitable? Are we spending too much time on this? Are we spending not enough time on this? Is there an inefficiency in just this team member? Because, like, everyone else is able to do this same task in this time frame, but so-and-so's not. It's also an identifiable problem for, like, training things. But we could say that one time, like, hey, you guys need to be time tracking. Okay, got it. Like, we mentioned it on the Monday morning meeting 6 months ago. I don't know why you guys aren't time tracking. Well, we're not consistently reiterating it, okay? And so we've already made a plan and a plan ultimately of how many times we're going to reiterate this on our Monday morning meeting, and then on our department team meetings. We're going to constantly reiterating it. So for the next at least 6 weeks, every single time it's going to be mentioned multiple times, okay? We're reiterating what we're expecting, and that's what we're going to get. When we can reiterate it, our team members want to perform and rise to that occasion. And then the last part, what are you celebrating? So kind of an aspect of what we're reiterating, let's kind of celebrate those people who are doing what we've been reiterating. So we had a team member that's doing fantastic in the time tracking, okay? Some other team members aren't, but, like, as we're reiterating it, we're also celebrating that team member that is doing it consistently, okay? That's going to keep that celebration. She's going to be able to keep doing it. And then it's going to show those other people, like, oh yeah, I really need to be doing that. And, like, oh, I can better meet expectations when I'm doing that and stuff. But celebrating what you're reiterating, but then also just celebrating the little things, celebrating the team members for them individually, celebrating the wins for the company. Like, yes, we were able to land this new client, or we were able to close this rebrand deal, or, thinking about it from contractors' perspective, like, yes, we were able to, sell that complete new system. This was so-and-so's first time, and man, he did a great job with it. And so you keep what you celebrate. And so what are you celebrating? And so that's all aspects into building the trust. And so I know that's a little philosophy-ish and kind of deep, if you will, but ultimately, like, you can't have a great culture if you don't have trust as the leader. And so hopefully you're able to find some key aspects from that, and how you can build trust. But I'll give you some a little bit more fun iterations, if you will, and some actual company culture type things. And so one philosophy of Lemon Seed is we want every new hire to have the best first day ever. Like, we want them to talk to their friends, to talk to their family, to post on social media, because that's the first thing that everyone asks when they know someone's having, going for their first day, they're having a new job. So tell me, how was it? How was your first day at work? It was the best first day ever. That is our goal at Lemon Seed, and that doesn't happen haphazardly, okay? There take a lot of thinking about it and intentionality to make that happen. We've had to, like, write it out as a process. We've learned lots of things from some team members not having the best first day ever. But what that looks like to us is we want their computers and their emails and their logins to all be completely set up. So not when they get here, oh yeah, let me find that adapter for you, and oh yeah, you should have a login to that. I don't know what the password is. Let me try to find that for you. And oh yeah, I guess you do need to go to lunch today. Well, here's some restaurants here in town. Like, no. Okay? So our goal is to have all of that already set up well in advance before that team member arrives. And then their first email that they're going to have is an email with a shared Google Doc of what all their passwords are to that thing. And then the second email that's going to be in their inbox is a welcome email from Crystal and I. hey, we are so glad to have you as a part of the Lemon Seed team. We're so excited for what you're here for. We can't wait to see what's next. Welcome to the team, okay? Those little things can help make a good impression, make them feel welcome. The next thing we do is, as soon as we hire somebody, we have them fill out an About Me form. So even before they've started, they're completing out this About Me form. It's a simple little form. It's like, what is your favorite candy? What's your favorite flower? What do you enjoy doing in your spare time? This provides a few things for, like, one, when I do know I need to celebrate my team member or I want to send them an anniversary gift or something, what is their favorite flower? Is it daisies? Is it orchids? Is it romantic red roses? You know, who knows what that could be. But if I need to send them a little pick-me-up, maybe I send them the Sonic gift card versus the Starbucks gift card, because I know they love their large vanilla Dr. Peppers with easy ice, okay? That could be it. But what we do with that information is we then turn it into like a little graphic. So it's like, hey, meet Nina. She's our newest account manager, and her favorite color is navy blue, and her favorite dessert is cheesecake, and one of her bucket list items is to travel around the world, specifically to Greece, okay? And we send out that little graphic. We have it designed cute. We have a picture of that new team member, and then we send it out in our general Slack channel. So one, that does a couple of things. The whole team knows, oh, hey, we have our new account manager. Her name's Nina, and oh, that's what she looks like? Because not all of our team members are in office. Not all of them are on the account manager team. Not all of them work with Nina, that account manager. They'll work with a different account manager. But it's nice for them to put a face to the name, but then also, you know what the whole next 15 minutes are in that Slack channel? The rest of the team member being like, welcome Nina, we're so glad you're here. Can't wait to have you. Oh my gosh, I love navy blue also. That's my favorite, okay? When you want to talk about making someone feel welcome and making them feel special, it's when the entire team is saying, hey, can't wait to meet you in person. Hey, so glad to have you on the team, okay? We also have their desk set up with lots of fun little goodies. We intentionally at Lemon Seed we have what we call kind of like the standard Lemon Seed shirt. So we'll print shirts for like all of our company events, like, you know, this team retreat had this theme and this color shirt, and then at Christmas we gave away these long sleeve hoodies and things like that. And so it'd be completely unrealistic for, you know, every employee to have every shirt, just as time goes on, when people are here, when they're not here, things like that. But we did make an intentionality for everyone to have the same shirt. So we had to pre-buy a bunch of shirts because we don't know what size the next 10 employees are going to be. So we're going to have to buy a variety. And we've had to replace this order a few different times for different sizing and things like that. But what we wanted was one consistent thing that everyone on the team could have the same of. And if we did have to take a group picture for something, we wanted everyone to be wearing the same shirt. So it's not just a Lemon Seed shirt or, hey, you're brand new, you don't even have a shirt, okay? Everyone has this yellow shirt that has the generic Lemon Seed logo on it, okay? We make that a constant thing. And so on the first day, that is sitting on their desk, okay? Along with some Lemon Seed pins and keychains and our lemon scented air fresheners and some fun stickers and stuff. And then a handwritten note from Crystal and I also, like, Nina, we're so glad to have you on the team. Can't wait to get started with you. The zest is yet to come, okay? Again, that intentionality is super small, but goes a long way. Sometimes when you can like address hardships and come at it with a positive perspective, again, you're setting the tone, that can mean a world of difference to your team as well. So how many of you have ever had to go through a software switch? Okay, like changing from, you know, your CRM to a new CRM. Oh my gosh, like if you've ever done it, you know, it's one of the worst experiences ever. Everyone dreads it. Everyone hates the new system because it's just different than how the old system worked, and like, I can't get anything done in here. Like, why did we have to switch? We're always switching things like that. Like, we can let that get real negative real quick. And like, we can let that negativity perpetuate and kind of start to spiral out of control. And it can leak and bleed into other team members that may not have had that same thought. They're like, oh, cool, I'm kind of excited for this. But when we had to do a software switch, we intentionally knew, okay, this is going to be painful. We're going to have some hiccups. There's going to be some things that aren't going well. So like, let's address this. Let's get the team rallied on board. Let's embrace that we know there's going to be some snags, some snafus. But how can we counteract that? So when we were going through a software switch, we switched to a program called Function Point. And Function Point is where we manage all of our projects and tasks and timelines and all the company information for all of our clients, things like that. And so we put together this little kit, a software survival kit, if you will. And so we printed these cute little cards, and then we stuffed this box full of all kinds of fun goodies, and then we had to mail it to our team that's remote. So our team that was in office, we had it set up on their desk the day that we were making the switch, and we had mailed the boxes to our other team members. We put fun little stickers on there that said, like, do not open until this day at the company meeting and stuff, so that way they weren't sneak peeking any of it. But on that little card, it said a software survival kit. So cool glasses to help you see the big picture, sticky notes to help you pick it up quicker, a lemon squeezy for when things get stressful, and a party hat and a kazoo to make it more special. When we do it together, it won't disappoint, so raise up your lemonade, we're switching to Function Point. So in that box was some cool glasses, sticky notes, a lemon squeezy, a party hat and a kazoo, and some lemonade. And so it made the world a difference. You know what all of our team did? They put on that stupid little party hat, and they put that little kazoo in their mouth, and they blew it, and then they took a selfie with it, and they posted it on social media, and then they shared it. Here's one girl, she put the party hat on her dog. Again, the dogs, okay? Like, but those fun little bitty things. So we addressed, hey, it's gonna be stressful, okay? So like, here's a little stress ball. It's gonna be, some things are gonna be sticky. You're gonna have to take notes and relearn some things. So like, here's some points to it. So we made it fun, we made it manageable, but we had to be very intentional about that to make it less painful, if you will. And then we like to just celebrate our team. We like to just show how fun we are. And so celebrating them on social media, we try to stress to our team, the Lemon Seed social media page does not need to be chock full of Crystal and Emily, okay? Like, there's enough of that going on. And we have some really fantastic team members, and who's really driving the ship is the rest of these team members that are doing all the client interaction. And so that's who we really need to be celebrating. And so we like to just do fun little things for national holidays. Now, if you're on social media plan with us, you know we are requesting these from you all the time, okay? So hopefully you can take note from the Lemon Seed team. But you know, when it was National Hot Dog Day, we bought a $15 hot dog costume off of Amazon, and we made that one dude dress up in the hot dog thing, you know? When you're the one dude, you get singled out to do that. But our team loves to take pictures with that. When we had a National Donut Day, we brought out our little donut wall that we had bought for another event, and we brought donuts in for the whole team and stuff. And it's a picture of our team cheersing in their champagne glasses full of milk, okay? You know, on St. Patrick's Day, Lemon Seed goes lime, okay? Like, we turned green, and we bought fun little props, just like goofy little glasses and goofy little hats and, you know, boas and goofy little stuff like that. But you know what? It makes it fun, okay? It makes it engaging. It makes it memorable for our team, but then also for those future recruitments for whoever that future team might be. And so, you know, I hope you've been able to gather some information from this, and how, you know, being intentional to earn trust and to not miss out on the small details, that is the key to unlocking the culture code. That is the way of how you can really be intentional to define and to exude and to make the culture that you want to have. Because again, if you're not defining it, someone or something else is, and it's oftentimes not the best. And so focus on that trust aspect, focus on the intentionality, and focus on what do you need to quit tolerating, what do you need to start reiterating, and what do you need to keep celebrating. And I promise you'll be able to unlock this culture code thing. So thank you for listening to another episode. If you've enjoyed this, we would love for you to give us a follow on all the social media platforms. We're on all of them. Leave us a review here on the platform that you're listening to, or on one of the social media platforms. It always just helps us to keep going and to spread the message to contractors and all those other lemon heads across, so we can keep on doing the good work. So thanks for listening. Talk to you later. Bye.